Oh, you guys have some old cameras as well.
Yeah, man. I like to collect random things, and so one of them is like old cameras,
Yeah.
and so
Do they work or?
I never try because
Okay.
it's film and it's hard to find the film for the
Yeah.
old ones. So, but some of them look really good
Mm-hmm.
and no
Condition,
scratches
yeah.
or anything. So I'm assuming some of them actually work.
I know some problems is if they have some fungus inside of
Yeah,
them, and then that just
and that just messes it up.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the ones not as old as this, but maybe like the retro, the '80s ones,
Mhm.
they have like this chip inside that over time there's a part of it that leaks acid,
Okay.
and it just destroys the whole camera.
Yeah, I have one similar to the left one there. With
Really?
that foil. I
This
don't know how. Yeah. What is that called? It's like.
I don't know. It's like almost like an accordion.
Yeah,
style,
it's like. There's a name.
Uh-huh.
It's like foil or something.
Uh-huh.
But mine works.
Really?
Yeah.
You got it to work?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I bought it in Brazil, and
Gotcha.
because like over there Uruguay,
Uh-huh.
it's kind of like they have old stuff. Even the cards are
Uh-huh.
old, so people go to
Uh-huh.
Uruguay and buy old stuff that are like still new, like
Right.
you can use it and working,
Right.
and then they bring to Brazil and to sell
Wow.
it. So I got it like for was kind of cheap, but you can like over there the credit card you can like make it in monthly payments.
Oh.
So then it's like we did for like a year and a half paying like a camera
Yeah.
like $10. It was
Wow.
like 10 reais, which is kind of our
Reais.
currency
Gotcha.
Mhm.
per month, you know.
Wow.
But it was working and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have a Polaroid of those ones.
Are you into most of the Brazilians that I meet? They're into Volkswagens. Are you into? Do you like Volkswagens?
Not really.
Not really, because there's
yeah.
there's a big Volkswagen factory in Brazil.
Yeah,
And all the Kombi,
yeah,
the buses and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, the bigger ones are the Fiat,
Mm-hmm. Oh
Volkswagen,
yeah.
and the Chevrolet.
Gotcha.
You guys
Really,
have the-
Chevrolet.
Yeah, Chevy. Yeah,
Gotcha. I
but
didn't know that.
yeah. But the popular one, I think it's Volkswagen.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest one.
The biggest,
So
yeah.
that for like a long time, and they make popular cars.
Yeah.
It's like crap cars, but
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah. I mean, they catch on fire.
Yeah.
Like I've only seen one here because there's a lot here too. The old Volkswagens.
Yeah.
And they don't have what do you call this?
The
It's not
Brick-
water. It's not
coolant? No.
Yeah, it's all air. Like to cool it down.
Yeah.
It's all air, so that's why the trunk is open.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
designed so that the air comes in.
Okay.
But like that's kind of sketchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like what
yeah.
if there's not enough air that goes in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for our viewers, this is Gabriel Oliveira. He's an amazing artist. He has this amazing ability to create tension with such minimalist designs, and I really admire that. We met at a conference? Was it an event?
Yeah, I was in an event at
Yeah.
church,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were
yeah, doing some demos and more
Yeah.
talking than
Mm-hmm.
No,
doing anything.
he was speaking at a conference, and he did an amazing job, and I was super inspired, and just wanted to have him on and just talk and just hang out.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
really wanted to get to know you, bro. I
yeah. I think like we've met like a
Uh-huh.
month ago or so.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
like so glad you guys are having me right now and we can have this conversation
yeah,
and
bro.
hang out. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Bro, you honestly okay, so you paint at church.
Mhm.
Your art is so different
Yeah.
compared to like, most of the people in the environment. Most people are painting, animals or like landscapes
Yeah.
or like, stuff of that matter, which is cool. But your designs are so different. Well, first talk to us about your designs. What made you get into the minimalist kind of?
Yeah. So I mean, like, I really like the aesthetic of it.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it was like really intriguing since the beginning. Like
Mhm.
when I kind of like started to go into museums older, like 18-ish.
Oh wow.
Yeah. My family doesn't have like a lot of artistic or culturally um, background or some anything like that, but I was always intrigued every time that I seen a piece that I couldn't understand,
Mm-hmm.
and that feeling of like having to discover what it means,
Mhm.
or what the artist was feeling, or
Yeah.
everything, like all that surrender area that you cannot identify.
Right.
It's really exciting for me. So I started from this place of like appreciation,
Yeah.
and then I went to school. I could understand and learn a little bit more about it, and I just fell in love, and I identify with it much more than a realistic approach for things.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, for me, honestly, I don't want to sound rude, but I mean, we have photography.
For realism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I get it. It's like so beautiful. You do something that are almost, you paint something that's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, we can approach things in a different way.
Yeah.
And when you work in abstract, you bring this whole perspective that people are not supposed to see or to
Right.
understand. And it's funny because you have to train your brain to not, like, when you see an abstract painting, you kind of try to find patterns,
Right.
try to see things
Yeah.
with your imagination and things like that. But I think the goal is more like you feel that impact,
Mm-hmm.
what you're feeling when you saw that.
Right.
And okay, it's nice, it's fun to play this game, like, oh yeah, this cloud look, you know, like when we were kids, like, oh, this cloud is like a dinosaur or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's fun, and but I think this idea of like the invisible part,
Right.
you know, it's really interesting. And the minimalist for me is like, I'm kind of like stripping down all the layers
Mm-hmm.
and just bringing a block, you know. It's like I'm really influenced by an artistic movement in Brazil in the starting in the 50s but 60s. It's called Arte Concreta.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like concrete art.
Is that what it translates to?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's like is the name of the movement. It's concrete art,
Huh.
which basically means like what you see is what it is, you know. So if you see a square, and it's really minimalistic and a lot of colors, and it's beautiful geometric shapes.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically what you see it is. There's no kind of like, oh, I want it. It's not like, oh, I'm representing something.
Right.
No, a square is a square.
Like that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
Yeah.
But there is everything on it.
Right.
You know? Because if you start to thinking about it,
Mhm.
a circle is a circle, but what else comes from this like geometric shape, you know?
Right.
And it just took me to a journey like of really enjoying and kind of like learning and doing sketching. And it's really hard for me to get out of it, you know, to change my style. I've tried to do more like soft, more like like free abstract work of like splashings and colors and doing like stuff like that. But I really feel good when it's like feel minimal, you know, and it's like one line, you know, and that's it. It's like, why? But it's a line, you know.
Yeah.
What else? No, it's a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like, we can. I can try to explain it, but it's something that feels good to me.
Right.
And I started to learn and to get it into my lifestyle. You know, I'm not 100% minimalist in that movement, but I mean, I love stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I love stuff. I love stuff. But one thing that I don't think I can live with stuff. You know, I'd like to have a house like really minimal. Like you enter into my house, it's like you land in the moon. You know, there's nothing.
It's like,
You
There's
know,
nothing.
there's nothing there. But I want to have like a house full of junk, old stuff. You know, because I just love it. I mean, I prefer to buy a book than to download or to get a PDF. You know, I'm still love the craft and of everything. You know, so my wife kind of helps me too.
You feel the history when you hold the old book.
Yes.
There's the history, and it feels almost as if it's alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you see all these old books. Most of these, I don't think I've read any of them, but I just love how they look. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like, oh, like who read this? Like what's the story behind this? And it just so happens that I pick it. I don't know. It just intrigues me.
Yeah.
And plus, there's beautiful art on it.
Yeah, and like the whole craft of like printing and the graphic
Pressing
design
the books,
and the material of like the feeling and the texture, the smell of an old book, or you know, it's like, oh my gosh,
you should grab one of the books before you leave, bro.
I want to
just grab one.
Yeah,
whatever you see. Dude, I want to go back to what you were talking about, which I thought was intriguing. The concrete art in Brazil, the movement. I thought it was interesting how you were saying how you might draw a square and it's just a square, like there's no meaning. It's just a square, you know. I was kind of thinking. It reminded me of a conversation I was having with Francesco. Francesco is a Bethel Creative Arts pastor for listeners who are curious. But we were talking, and I asked him, we call the art on stage prophetic art. Can it just be beautiful just for the sake of being beautiful? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's one frustration for me. Does it have to be prophetic? Like, can it be okay that it's just beautiful? Do you know what I mean?
And like,
what's your thoughts about that?
What is not prophetic? That's like, you know, like, can it be more godly? It's almost like that, you know, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Which like, I mean,
that's a great point.
God is like, he created stuff. You know, he created everything. And maybe like creating is already a worship act. And what you're creating means like doesn't matter that much. Let's just focus on the act of like you creating. It's like his nature there. You're like reflecting what he has done. You've been doing. So I mean, I feel the same. It's just funny, you know. It's like worship music.
Right.
You know, it's music,
right?
And maybe it's tricky, you know, because we can generalize it and say like, oh, everything's worship, which could be, but when you make this like a statement of like everything is good, some of like there's some stuff that it's tricky, you know. I don't know how to explain, you know, like.
I mean, I think everything is definitely worship. It doesn't have to be Jesus.
Yeah.
It could be worshiping a woman.
Yeah, that's a
good. It could be worshiping money.
Point. Yeah.
It could be, you know what I mean? But so it's there's definitely a lot of perspectives to look at it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that, you know, because I feel like calling it prophetic art, like on stage, I feel like there's a pressure. I gotta hear from God.
Oh yeah.
You know, what if you want to draw something because it's beautiful and that's your way of hearing? You know what I mean? I want to draw a tree. Why do I love trees so much? I love drawing trees.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, or flowers. I don't know what it is. And, you know, the more I think about it, I when you said that, what isn't prophetic? When you said that, I'm like thinking to myself, maybe there's a reason why I love drawing freaking trees. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's like, because I think we also have to understand that sometimes we create things for ourselves. And that's maybe what God wanted in that moment. And there's this whole like idea that you have to have a meaning for everything that you do.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the meaning,
if
God just tells you to do,
it's
like you have to draw. I mean, your life, you only gonna paint trees, and that's it. Why? Because I don't know. It's a mystery, and you feel God on that, and you feel great on that, and I mean, it's hard for us like to try to understand God. I think sometimes we I don't know if I'm going out of subject. You can
No, this is great.
put me back in in focus, but I mean, we kind of sometimes we try to make things. We try to define things like, oh, prophetic. This is prophetic. This is not prophetic.
Yeah.
This is worship, and this is worship music, and this is, but I mean, and it's all different layers, I think, and there's much more there.
Yeah.
And the main problem for me is when we categorize things, we may lose people that does not identify with it. And then we create cultures, and we create bubbles on that. And then that's one part that is intriguing. It's we get like, we have this ideology that we create.
Right.
Because we understand everything, and then we do not, we as human beings, we like comfort, so we don't want to thrive. We
want to stay comfortable within the boxes we've created.
Yeah,
I feel that.
and the main problem is like underground culture. It's always the future.
Yeah.
It's always the future.
Yeah.
The future is in the underground cultures.
Yeah.
Because they do not, it's like a big company and smaller companies. Smaller companies can change their strategy, can change their product so fast, because the big organizations, there's like so many people, so many bureaucracy, so many everything. And then I feel like culture and underground culture is like that, culture, the like Main Street culture, it's kind of like it's a huge block, and underground culture, it's like already fast. It's ahead. If you see like a lot of movements started like underground, hip hop, underground, punk rock, and all the rock and roll area, and I don't know, like R&B that became kind of mainstream for the past like few years, but it's been forever going on,
Right.
And unfortunately, when we try to define things, we lose people that do not identify it.
Right.
And they kind of sometimes feel like ghosts.
Yeah.
Because they're not seen.
Yeah, I mean, it turns them off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was having a conversation yesterday with a friend over coffee, and we were talking about music, and he was telling me, like, dude, why on Spotify it says Christian music? You know what I mean? But, like, why is a religion a genre? Shouldn't it be, like, funk? Should it be R&B? Shouldn't it be, like, rock?
Yeah.
And he was telling me how his frustration was how Christian music is categorized into Christian. And the reason why he's frustrated is because there's some songs or artists that he thinks is bad. And he was like, I don't want that label as Christian because, like, that sucks. You know what I mean? So he was like, can we just put them under rock or something? Or so that we don't get labeled as Christian. I just thought that was funny.
I think, like, that's the main reason of that bubble we create. So it's good for us here. And we don't have to develop anymore. We don't have to... Because if you think about it, like, back in the days, the best art was related to the Roman Empire. So, of course, they had money, they had investments, they have everything, and they did so many like bad stuff, and which is bad. But we once were the best ones,
the best artists, yeah. Yeah.
But the problem, do you know what changed? When it changed was Martin Luther
Oh yeah, when he nailed down the, what is it called?
Yeah, that's the big Reformation,
Yeah.
the Reformation, which was necessary because people were selling places in heaven and doing all that
Right.
crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the points for like about the images, we do not worship images anymore.
Was that one of the things that was on?
Yeah,
there?
I think I'm pretty sure one of the
Wow,
things.
I didn't know that.
And then it changed the whole trajectory of like art.
Wow.
Because one before
Oh,
they had investment on it,
Right, they were patrons for the artists.
and then
Yeah.
after was almost like, oh no, we don't do it anymore.
Wow.
It was like opposite. It was like understand the movement of like running as far as you can from
Mm-hmm.
bad stuff,
Yeah.
but on that movement you can run far away from things that
Right.
you're not supposed to. So that's kind of like what happened with art.
Wow.
And then people, of course, other part of the society started to get more art,
Yeah.
fine art and paintings and
Yeah.
stuff. And then right now we see how far we are from
Being the
yeah
top.
the
Yeah.
top.
I'm so happy that you shared that, because I was
Yeah.
the same conversation I was talking about. I was telling him how, because our friend Christine, one time she was on this podcast, and the podcast was about why Christian artists and creatives aren't the best in the world, right?
Yeah.
And she was talking about how the best artists way back when were the Christians. Even the people who created like the music theory that people read
Mhm.
music, that's all Christians. You know, the people that were people were investing in were all Christians, the artists. And I was always wondering, when did it stop? When was that shift? So you sharing that, it put a puzzle piece there.
Yeah, I was like, I remember I started like, yo, I have to understand when it happened.
Yeah.
So I started to
Were you
study
looking
it.
for that moment too?
So I was like, yeah,
No
I was
way.
like, why? Because like we all heard about like Leonardo da Vinci, the like
Mhm.
Michelangelo
Right.
painting, like all sculptures are like based on Christian or like Bible person, like
Right.
people like, and based on like Bible moments and godly inspired. So it's like, why, when it happened,
Mhm.
and then I went somewhere. I've talked with someone and they shared that. I was like,
Wow.
yeah, that's the point. That's the
Yeah.
thing, you know. It's
What year
like,
was that? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
don't
1400s maybe?
I'm really bad with like
Yeah,
history.
Yeah. I gotta
Yeah.
look that up.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, yeah, it's just crazy because I think that's the problem. The main problem is like then we created those. We define what it is Christian, what it is good for God, what's
Right.
like God. Basically, almost it feels like what God can handle. You know, like
Mhm.
oh yeah, no, he likes this kind of music. So of course, like throughout the Christian music history, we have some like breakthroughs, like Hillsong United and
Yeah.
Hillsong, and you know,
That was a big deal, Hillsong.
yeah, Hillsong was like
Yeah, doing rock.
Ron
Ron Canoli.
yeah,
Who is
yeah.
like the Lord? Putting funk into Christian. Yeah.
And then Kirk Franklin as
Yeah.
well.
CCM. Yeah.
Yeah.
sort of it.
And then I think like Bethel did
Jesus culture
yeah.
first.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jesus culture. Oh yeah, yeah.
No one knew about Bethel, just Jesus culture.
Yeah, Jesus culture. Well, they were big, like
Yeah.
freaking big. in
How He
Brazil.
Loves Us came out.
Oh
and
my
it was
gosh.
a big deal.
Yeah. And then now we've been with
Maverick. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maverick.
Yeah.
Maverick is interesting
Yeah.
because it's not gospel, but it's not gospel.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I
like-
mean?
yeah, yeah.
It's like an in between, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they get to do collaborations with like Elevation or Bethel because it's not full gospel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But which is kind of cool.
Yeah, they brought that like perfect technical part of the gospel. You know, all the melismas and the swing and you know
Yeah.
like the beats and they put a like I would say like they put a worship on it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know, was not worship before.
Right.
Yeah, so it's interesting, but I'm looking forward for
The new sound.
we have some like underground
Yeah,
culture,
Yeah.
for sure.
kingdom inspired,
Yeah.
calling inspired, and
Yeah.
like those crazy that like nobody will understand,
Mhm.
like
Yet.
those kind,
Yeah.
yet that
Like
aren't
it's
in the
not cool
future.
yet.
No, it's not
Yeah,
cool. It's
yeah.
weird. They are weird,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward for it,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit what I'm trying to do with painting,
Yeah.
but
I mean, bro, you're so different. Like, you
I
know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. I'm not trying to.
It just feels authentic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just doing it, and I know that people don't understand, and I'm not expecting for them to understand.
Mhm.
I'm not waiting for a pastor coming to
Uh-huh.
me like, "Oh, good job, that looks amazing." I'm not waiting for that. I know it's
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
happen probably. So I'm good with being myself, and
Mhm.
I think that's the point. We have to be ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have to be ourselves. We don't need to fit in. And that's why like sometimes we are all similar, but maybe because we are not being ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like Bill Johnson said once, or it was someone, unity is not
Conformity.
yes.
Yeah.
Or uniformity.
You
or
know,
something.
yeah, that's
something.
good,
Yeah. So I mean, I think we do have to inspire people to be themselves, and kind of like, even if it looks weird,
Yeah.
but they're being themselves,
Right.
and in that journey with God, and always like focusing on growing and learning with each other,
Right.
we can build something beautiful,
Right.
even more beautiful, even more relevant,
Yeah, for sure.
and maybe we can like go back to not being the best, but I mean having good quality, and
Right.
like bringing people. We've been seeing like good artists.
Mm-hmm.
They're just good. Doesn't matter what they are singing.
Mhm.
I listen to music from different countries. I don't even understand the language. But if they are good, they're good. You
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
to like you. I think like you don't need to like try to convince someone that Adele is a
Uh-huh.
good singer.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
She's like, dude,
Yeah.
just listen to it,
Right.
and I think that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, she listens to K-pop, but she doesn't speak Korean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of do, right?
No, I don't.
It's like
Hi, hello.
it's like I'm listening to hip hop.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. And maybe it's good, that I don't understand every single word.
Every line, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I know
It's-
it's bad, but I mean,
No, I mean,
Some of
I
them.
enjoy it too. I actually started listening to hip hop a lot more recently. Like I usually don't.
who do you
But-
listen to?
Recently, bro, I've been listening to. It's so sad, but Mac Miller, he passed away
Oh, yeah.
several years ago,
Mhm.
and because I started liking his music, I feel so sad about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, dang, I never got to see him
Yeah.
in person. Like, I never got to go to his concert because I'm such a huge I've become such a fan of him because he's a rapper, right?
Yeah.
But when he's performing, he's not really rapping.
No,
He's singing it.
Yeah.
He's so melodic. Like he's singing it, dude. Like I've never heard. Well, maybe I'm new to listening to hip hop, so there could be other artists that's doing this. Maybe it's not you. Who knows? But I really admire how he's melodically saying his bars and not just
Yeah.
like he's sing like
the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning
And
of hip hop.
he's-
Yeah.
most hip hop music that I've heard, it's rhythm dominant, like the beat, right? You know,
Mhm.
you hear a beat and it like that's what gets people
Yeah,
doing this. His starts off with guitars and like a synth,
Yeah.
and he just goes off. He just starts rapping, mad
Yeah.
chill, bro.
Yeah.
I love it,
Yeah,
bro. Because I could just drive on a rainy day and listen to that. Because like you know, most of hip hop music, it gets me hyped up.
Yeah.
I don't really want to get hyped up. I just want to chill. You
Chill
know what I'm
out,
saying?
yeah.
And so listening to some of this stuff, I
Yeah.
really I really
Yeah,
enjoy it.
I like him. I do not listen him too much, but I've been into Tyler the
Tyler, the
creator.
creator?
The creator.
He's
Yeah.
amazing. The last yeah. But I've been listening like the past week to Kendrick Lamar, the
Oh,
new
yeah.
album.
How was that?
Oh man, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's the
like-
vibes like?
Yo, like he changed the flows so much in every
Really?
music. It's like just beautiful the way he like finds new path
Uh-huh.
in that same beat.
Are you is this the newest one that he came out?
No, it was like a few months ago. Like
Gotcha. Okay. I'll listen to
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I've heard that. Yeah, it's tricky the lyrics and
Mhm.
stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And but melodically,
Melodically, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
so good. The beats are good.
Dude, I gotta check it out. I'm
Yeah.
excited now. I gotta
Yeah,
check-
and like I love when the beats they change almost change the genre, the type of music in the
Uh-huh.
middle of the beat.
Oh,
Do you know-
really? Like
do you know like
the genre
do you know
itself?
yeah do you know like Kanye used to do it? Sometimes he
Uh-huh.
makes he's like hip hop and then
Uh-huh.
comes another type of beat in the
Uh-huh.
middle.
Gotcha.
and
They
then-
completely change it and they
yeah.
go back into it.
I love
Gotcha.
that transition,
Yeah.
and he does that a lot in the.
And then this I gotta
Yeah.
send me a link or something. I want to listen
yeah,
to it.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if I recommend everybody to listen to it.
Hey, if you're a pastor out there, listen to Kendrick Lamar.
No, but yeah, he's good. And Tyler.
Tyler, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the thing I love about Tyler the Creator is how playful he is.
Yeah, and he's
You
so
know what I mean?
authentic.
Yeah, it's just him. He's just playful,
Yeah.
and he feels like he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Have you seen him like creating the beats and stuff? Man,
I've-
he's like
uh-huh.
jamming like. Whoa,
Like
it's
on a
so-
looper and stuff.
Yeah.
I've only seen one. I've seen a couple of his sets on like YouTube or something.
Yeah,
But-
but last thing that I'm gonna say about hip hop, you have to the NPR music YouTube
Tiny
channel.
Desk.
Ten Desk.
Tiny Desk.
Yes.
Mac Miller
That's
and Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, we
have you
watched
watched
both of
the
them.
Bro,
Tyler?
Oh, yeah,
Man,
we watched
I'm
both
like,
of them.
my favorite.
crying, almost like
It's
oh
so
my god,
good.
that's so
Yeah.
perfect, you know, like.
Did you hear the Chance one?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Chance does a good one
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All the.
And there's so many good Tiny Desks.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I mean
Oh.
I get lost on it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all so different.
Yes.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
You know, they'll have like a folk singer here.
Mhm.
Next one, they'll have like Usher, and then they'll have like
the Usher.
2 Chains.
That
I'm like,
And then Kirk Franklin.
Kirk
right
Franklin is.
Oh yeah,
Kirk
yeah. I saw-
Franklin was
yeah.
killing it, bro. Did you see his bassist?
Yeah.
Whoever. Okay. Shout out to Kirk Franklin's bassist. Whoever you are, your tone is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm into the YouTube loop.
Uh-huh.
You know, some people are on Instagram loop,
Yeah.
TikTok loop. I'm into the YouTube.
The shorts.
I own it. You know,
Yeah.
like I know I'm gonna get stuck on watching videos. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like not even the shorts, just like
The
Like
whole
full
video.
legit
the whole
videos.
videos, like
That's so funny.
music videos, because I mean, I just love it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. I want to pull us back into the creative space.
You've been
Like the
so
creative
far.
arts, that is, because this is just as much creative. I have a question. I was just wondering, like, because you're how long have you been in like the Bethel Arts like circle?
Oh, like 2 years, I
2
think.
years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you've been active there for 2 years. Where do you see, or where do you want to see this Christian art culture to be in 10 years from now?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, I would like to see like Christian art
Mhm.
as equal as all the other arts
Yeah.
of quality and reputation, and like I'd like to people going to churches just to see
The
the
art.
paintings hanging
Yeah.
or these beautiful sculptures in the parking lot.
Hmm.
You know, or and they kind of like get stuck on that, like why, you know, and then they find God
Mhm.
on that, you know, like
Yeah.
because we have a lot of space to grow in the art
Yeah.
department in all churches, I think, like, and I think it's something that we as a society, we need that. We need another perspective of like art, not just museums, not just MoMA, not just what people been doing in the past, but we can bring something new and something supernatural to the present, for the future, and create some, and artworks that people really gonna like be inspired by it, and be kind of like a reflection of who God is,
For sure.
I think yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Does it answer it? Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great, bro. I think one of the we're all in the Bethel environment, right? One word that gets thrown around a lot is the word revival. And I remember in first year, I felt like there was something wrong with me, because whenever I'd see someone like prophesy, I'd be like, dude, that's cool, but I wouldn't really jump up like everyone else around me. Like if someone gets healed, I'm like, dude, that's amazing, but like I can tell I'm not as excited. But then when I see we talk about the arts or music, I get so excited.
Yeah.
But like not as everyone around me is not quite as there's a few that's just as excited, but usually not as excited as me. I thought, oh, there's something wrong with me. And then I've like the past couple of years, I feel like the Lord is shifting my perspective on that, and how the arts and music and anything creative can be just as much revival as someone's preaching on stage. I remember watching a show with Zac Efron, and he's going around the world, and he was in Australia. He met with farmers, and he was telling the farmers, the farmers were telling him, the reason why land gets tired and is not infertile anymore is because people keep planting the same things on the land, and the something about the microorganisms, and it dies off. So they were like, what we do is we change it. So bananas here, then after we put tomatoes there, and the bananas go here, and they do a circle like a clock. And they were saying how this soil is so fertile ever since we started doing that. And they were so freaking passionate. This couple was so passionate about it. And I felt the Lord say, that's revival.
Wow.
I'm like, what? They're not preaching. They're not even talking about the Bible. But I felt the Lord say, that's revival, because his heart is being shown. Like his heart is it's a reflection of what he cares about. He cares about the earth. He cares about land. And I remember telling Francesco about this experience I had, and he was like, dude, so funny you say that, because in, I think, I forgot what book in the Bible, but King Solomon gathered the kingdoms together, and he hosted a conference. You know what he spoke about? Fish. He spoke about fish, bro. And that was revival. Like, he literally did a class on fish. And that was a reflection of the Lord's heart. Like, hey, I care about the fish. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, my point, all that to say, sometimes I believe that artists, musicians, creatives in general are underrated in the kingdom, because we think people, the majority believe that we're just decoration. Like, we just make things pretty.
Yeah.
But I believe that we're actually transformation. We are culture. Like you said, the underground creates the culture of the future. Who's in the underground? It's all the creatives. You don't see you don't see a bank teller down there. Hey, if you're a bank teller, keep doing your thing. All I'm saying is the creatives are the ones creating the future. You know what I'm saying? The most powerful people are creatives. Like, who's going to listen if Jay-Z tweets something against, let's say, the president of the United States? Everyone's going to back up Jay-Z just because he's Jay-Z. Jay-Z's not a politician. He has no people or whatever.
Yeah.
But his influence is crazy, and that's just a creative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, unfortunately, like, we like systems, and kind of like, and that's sad, That's sad because we want to feel comfortable, and I think, because like if you think back in the beginning, we had to store fat in the body.
Yeah.
Because
I'm still doing it, bro.
Stop it, dude. Stop it. But you know what I mean? It's like our bodies, like, if you don't do like, it's for that, like, to feel safe, to be warm, to be like, save energy for like the winter time,
Right.
whatever, and we don't like the struggle because growth, it's on the struggle always. It's kind of like almost like synonymous. It's like almost the same. Like if you don't stretch yourself, you're not gonna grow, and if you don't feel, I think like we should sometimes like almost be we have to focus in feeling discomfortable. We have to make like an appointment in the schedule, you know, like, yo, today I'm gonna feel discomfortable doing this or seeing this, or because then our mind expands and then our brain, and then it's kind of like it's awkward, but you know, you're getting a new experience. That's why like traveling is so important, or just getting out of your house, or like not having the same group of friends, or you know, like listen to different music. Yo, tomorrow go listen to Ethiopian music, you know, go like listen to something different, you know, just for the sake of it, just like to learn. And God like will reveal to you like his beauty on that country or on that like culture. So kind of like we have to kind of stretch ourselves to kind of like be able to grow more and kind of like see God in different perspectives. So we as a whole body are like ready to receive different kind of, to welcome different kind of people, and to create different kinds of movements, and to reach different kinds of like people, because it's always based on like from people and to people. You know, like we are doing everything like to reach people, to like make them feel loved, comfortable, make they find God, you know, and make them believe in themselves, you know, dream again.
100%.
So I think like that's one of the fights that we have to do. I think like personally first of all, and then we kind of like, if you do by yourself and she does and I'm doing it, so it's easier for us to like, I'm gonna meet another person different that maybe you guys were not like gonna be in your circle, and you guys have your like different style, and then kind of like we can expand. And when we learn, when like those things, when we come back together, we are different because of the experience, you know. And maybe we are all kind of like the same, or we are not growing that fast. It's maybe because we are together too much, or we are doing the same stuff, or we are, you know, I don't know the answer. I'm just like, those are thoughts and ideas. 100%. And I think we should do it, you know. We should kind of like be trying to be different, trying to grow,
like open,
it's
not
like
so closed off.
Explore. That's
100%. That's a I mean, the thing is, I think what keeps us away from that is because the fear of the if it's unknown, if it's mysterious, all of a sudden we mark it as scary. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, I've never listened to, you know, hip hop before. All of it must be of the devil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so definitely. I think
it's like one guy that he's been doing like an amazing job. It's like fashion industry. It's like Jerry Lorenzo with Fear of God.
Essentials.
Fear of God. It's like, yo, and I think like it's so funny because sometimes as like Christian culture, we try to kind of like sound cool, so we kind of hide Jesus and God, and we do like kind of like, oh, it's like, I don't know, The Voice, or you know, like the, I don't know,
some people say the universe.
You know. And then I love when like he did like Fear of God. It's there. You know, like up. The name's like straight up Fear of God. Or even like Kanye did it with like Jesus is King. You know, it's like That's the name
It's
of the
in-
album.
it's in
You
your
know,
face, yeah.
it's not like it's there,
Yeah.
and we've been trying to kind of like, yo, I don't know, you know, like maybe be a little bit more poetic,
Uh-huh.
and then people like some people they have like the guts or like enough to
Just say it.
just
Yeah.
like, yo, fear of God.
Yeah. for
What
sure.
is it means? It's mean, and he's gonna tell the story like in the Bible and stuff,
Yeah.
and like, wow, that's amazing
Yeah.
because, yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jerry Lorenzo.
yo,
Hey dog, you're killing it, man. Killing it. If you ever want to send some, some merch down our Garden Studios, holla at your boy. But before we close out, I want to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
If you could speak to a group of young Christian artists who's just starting out, who's kind of finding their sound within the arts, what piece of advice would you give them?
I mean, be be true to yourself. You know, be who you are, even if it doesn't look that beautiful right now,
Mm-hmm.
or like, at least it's gonna be worship.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come from your heart, from who you really are, and yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go
No.
into that, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of like, because we sometimes we think that God, we filter our feelings to talk with God.
Yeah.
We filter who we are, or like what
like
we
you
are.
can't take it. Yeah.
No, and then it's
Yeah.
like, He's God.
Yeah. He already probably knows.
Yeah, no, like you are not that smart,
Uh-huh.
or you're not that whatever to offend him
Yeah.
that much, you know.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's like you don't have the measure,
Yeah.
the height to do that.
You're not
So-
strong enough to do.
No,
yeah.
it's like he's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's chilling.
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, yeah, I got it. I know your frustration,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know what you're feeling,
Yeah.
but I have a beautiful thing for you. So yeah, my advice would be like, be who you are. You know,
Yeah. Even in your rough seasons. Yeah.
be who you are. Be who
Yeah,
you are,
That's a
and
beautiful thing.
not focus in what you do that much,
Yeah.
but focus in who you are.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, bro.
Yo,
Dude, this
thank
is
you.
so much fun hanging
Yeah.
out. I hope we could do it again.
Oh
I
my
hope we
gosh.
Find a
I was
time
like,
to do it again.
We
Yeah.
can keep talking for like
Uh-huh.
hours.
I know, bro. I feel it. I feel this could be a 2-hour podcast if we let it be. But bro, we got to do this again.
Yo, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, real quick, where can we find some of your work? Do you have any work out?
Yeah, so I have my Instagram. Do
Mhm.
not have any work on that.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just.
Follow it anyway. There will be. In the
Yeah,
near
I will be
future.
in the future. In the
Yeah,
future.
there you go.
I don't
So
know when, but in the future.
yeah, we'll put the link
Yeah,
below. So
in the
make sure you
future.
follow that. That being said, thank you guys for listening and toodles.
Yo.
Thank you so much, bro. You're the man. You are the man.